Chasing Lincoln's Killer. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was an amazing leader for our country. Sadly, not everyone thought so. He gave everyone rights, including to vote, by helping the North win the Civil War. On April 14th, Lincoln decided to go to Ford's Theater to enjoy a show. As the news spread, a rival was waiting for him. On April 15th, 7:22 a.m., Lincoln died. John Wilkes Booth. He was 26 years old. He had fame and wealth, but he was willing to throw it all away for the cause of the Confederacy. John Wilkes Booth has decided to murder the president that night at Ford's Theater. He had many failing attempts before to capture the president. He had murdered Abraham Lincoln, the President of the United States. Booth thought that he would be named a hero for getting rid of that treacherous tyrant, but instead he was named a coward for murdering Lincoln behind his back. He was also named an idiot for killing Self's best friend. David Harold was an experienced hunter, outdoorsman, and tracker. He accompanied and guided Booth through the escape, though they failed. Mary Todd Lincoln was Abraham Lincoln's wife. She was devastated after the death of her son Willie and never recovered. When Lincoln was shot, she was so devastated. She was so shocked she had to be removed from the room Lincoln was being treated in. She did not see Lincoln at his last breath. Dr. Samuel Mudd helped Booth escape. He knew Booth from before and examined and treated his ankle. Dr. Mudd provided Booth and Harold meals, a place to sleep. He let them escape willingly. Later, he was caught by Union soldiers and arrested. William Seward. He was the Secretary of State. He also served as the United States Senator. Each conspirator was assigned a person to kill by Booth. Lewis Powell was assigned William Seward. Both thought that by assassinating everyone supporting and standing by Lincoln, he would wipe out the idea of slavery being a bad thing. Then his wish of becoming a hero and everything going back to normal would come true. It didn't work, though. After Lewis Powell tricked Seward's servant into letting him inside by the illusion of him delivering medicine, he violently attacked Seward, Fanny, Seward's daughter, Seward's son, and Seward's servant. Luckily, Seward survived the attack. Events. On April 14th, tragic events occurred. Lincoln decided to go see the play at Ford's Theater that night. While him and Mary were traveling, Booth heard the news and planned to kill Lincoln that night. Booth arrived at Ford's Theater. Booth came in through the back and shot Lincoln. He then hopped off the back of the stage, injured his ankle, and escaped on his horse. Many bystanders thought this was still part of the show. Booth rode off with Harold by his side and started making his way to the south. He needed a doctor for his severely injured foot. Back at the theater, Lincoln moved to the Peterson house. Many doctors tried to treat him, but his wound was mortal. Lincoln died on April 15th, 7:22 a.m. Booth arrived at Mudd's farm. Mudd allowed Booth to stay for the night. He did not know what Booth had done, but when he knew what they did, he made Booth and Harold leave immediately. He did not report it. When this was going on, another conspirator, Lewis Powell, arrived at William Seward's house pretending to deliver medicine. He attacked everyone in the house and escaped. Booth was in the forest with Harold, hiding. The Union soldiers were close. They killed their horses to cover their tracks. Then they arrived at the home of Mrs. Quisenberry, another conspirator. She refused to help them. Lastly, they arrived at the Garrett farm. They took care of them, not knowing who they actually were. Later, they got suspicious and locked them in the farm for the night. Union soldiers were close and rounded up the farm. Harold surrendered. Booth wanted to fight his way out from the weapons he got from the Mary Surratt Tavern. The soldiers set fire to the farm. They wanted Booth to recover when a soldier shot him. He died there. They hung most of Booth's conspirators. Others, like Mudd, were sentenced for life instead.